Ladies and gentlemen, PSG fans and PSG fans, I've got big news for you. It looks like we're not going to have a quiet mercato window after all. There are noises coming out of Spain that PSG is close to finalizing the arrival of midfielder from Barcelona, Dro Fernández, which is a very exciting move. A youngster from La Masia that I'm sure probably not a lot of people might have heard about, but he's a big talent. So let's talk about this. Let's break it down, and I'll share with you all of the latest information, and hopefully share some excitement for the move. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put up some images of the player on screen so you can look at that while I speak. So Dro Fernández, 18-year-old, is a La Masia product originally from Galicia, which is the northwest of Spain. He joined La Masia at age 15, so he's been there for about 3 years, making his way through the ranks. And he is a player that, for the longest time, didn't garner a lot of attention, even from people who are following Barcelona and La Masia, until this summer. And basically, what changed last summer? He played in a preseason game against Kobe in Japan, and very much impressed. In 15 minutes, he managed to score a goal. He really managed to showcase his talent. And I think, at this point, world football kind of realized that there was another gem coming out of Barcelona. He very much impressed with his quick feet. So first, let me back off a little bit. 18-year-old is an offensive midfielder, typically plays in a sort of number 10 playmaker position. He can also play on the left side. He's actually right-footed, so he uses to cut in across and towards the middle of the field. But yeah, his primary position is definitely an offensive midfielder. He's got very quick feet. He's an extraordinary dribbler. High shooting quality as well, high passing quality, can operate in tight spaces. Obviously, coming out of Barcelona as well, my expectation is a midfielder who's tactically very sound and knows how to play the game. And what we are hearing now is that he's one of the most exciting talents, if not the most exciting talent, coming out of La Masia right now, which is obviously high praise for an academy that is known for producing top-tier football talent year in, year out. And so what happened is that he just turned 18 earlier this month, and apparently the contract discussions that were ongoing with Barcelona to have him sign a new contract as soon as he turned 18 didn't really pan out. At the same time, obviously, there's a lot of competition in midfield in Barcelona, and so they can't really guarantee him a lot of playing times and a lot of opportunities. So far this season, like I said, he's played those 15 minutes against Kobe in the preseason game. He's played about 90 minutes in La Liga across 5 games, I think. So coming on of the bench on a few occasions, and he participated in 1 Champions League game against Olympiacos in which he delivered an assist. So relatively light in terms of playing time so far this season, but at the same time, what we are hearing is that Hansi Flick is pretty devastated about the news. He was looking at the player as one of the top talents that he wanted to elevate, and that he thought would have a long-term role to play in this Barcelona squad. I saw a report, I don't know if it's true or not, obviously, football media being what it is, but apparently there was a quote given that Hansi Flick said this was the biggest disappointment of his career. So I don't know for someone who's had such a long career, but it says something that just the quote like this would come out. The player has a 6 million euro release clause that he's looking at activating. He's got, he's valued at 10 million on Transfermarkt, so already financially it's a good deal at this price. And what has been said is that he's been followed by basically all of the big clubs in world football, and in particular with Man City and Bayern Munich. And initially, when the first reports of the players wanting to leave Barcelona came out, it was said that he had offers from England and Germany. And then a few hours later, and a couple of hours ago as I'm recording this, what we're hearing is from Mundo Deportivo and a few Barcelona media that players in the Barcelona dressing room think he's going to go to PSG because of comments that Dro Fernández made to them. And so that's the reality of the PSG thing. At the same time, there was a report a couple of days ago as well that PSG was in the process of trying to arrange for the transfer of an 18-year-old player whose identity we didn't know at the time, but hopefully, that fits the bill of Dro Fernández as well. And so I think that's why those two kind of disjointed reports coming together, the fact that he's a player in an area of the pitch where we could use a little bit more depth, and the fact that, a player coming off of La Masia, obviously, there's no question mark that he would fit the Luis Enrique requirements of it all. He's a really hot talent, hot prospect. Yeah, I think it clicks all of the boxes of, what we would want to bring into PSG. Very exciting youngster. He's still very early in his development. So, we're not buying someone who's going to take over Vitinha next week. But yeah, he can bring more depth in midfield, more creativity to our midfield, which sometimes we've been lacking, especially in Ligue 1 when we play against tight blocks and so on. A player who can operate in tight spaces, dribble players, create opportunities, even take shots from outside of the area. That sounds like something that we would need a lot within our squad. It's a good financial deal. Yeah, I'm honestly very, very excited by this news. I hopefully, the following hours, we'll get confirmation and we'll get more news and a view that this is for real. But yeah, it could be a very good move. So anyway, this is what I had for you for now. Like I said, this is just coming out in the last couple of hours. So hopefully I'm not jumping the gun here and this isn't a video that I'm going to regret in a few hours. But Dro Fernández to PSG might be our first recruit of this winter window, and I'm excited. Let me know in the comment what you think. Is it a player and a profile that excites you, that you think we need in PSG? Do you think it'd be a good deal? Have you heard about the player before? And what's your perspective on him? Let me know all those things in the comments. Beyond that, other Mercato news are fairly quiet. We're still looking at Noam Camara being not pushed out, but generating a lot of interest and getting potentially loaned out as the one major move out of PSG. There were a lot of talks about Enzo Fernandez potentially being a big target of PSG for the summer. I've been thinking about doing a specific video about this and sharing my opinion. Honestly, if it's a summer move, it doesn't feel super urgent to do that at this point. And honestly, my perspective is the same as everyone else, which is that it's a top player and obviously one that would fit within the squad, but very much questions about his mentality. And some of the drama that surrounded him with the Argentinian team, and whether he'd be able to move past that, whether that's a reflection of who he is or not, and that obviously not knowing the player personally, I'm not really that well equipped to talk about. But anyway, for now, Dro Fernández is the news. Oh, wait, that's old school. Let me just put this up. Yeah, so for now, Dro Fernández is a big news of the day, potentially a recruit incoming into PSG from Barcelona, from La Masia, young midfielder and a hot rising star of world football. Something very exciting as far as I'm concerned. Let me know in the comments. Please drop a like on the video if you've made it this far. Please subscribe to the channel for PSG content in English on YouTube every day. And as always, ici c'est Paris!